ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
What is the relevance of smruthis in present times? Is SrIvaishNava expected to follow all the rules laid down by prachAraka smruti as it is said to be the law code for kaliyuga? Okay, so the question about prachAraka smruti, as far as smrutis are concerned, they are revealed by sages and saintly people. For example, when we speak about Manusmriti, which is quite controversial at times, people always pick on Manusmriti and try to put it down. That is, atheistic people and those who don't like Sanatana Dharmam, they always pick Manusmriti and say that it has certain very derogatory passages and so on. But Shastram says that whatever Manu says is medicine for us. We have to accept it. We have to accept everything which is given by Manu. But there may be context, there may be situations where we have to listen to Acharyas, different aspects of Shastram and apply these accordingly. So same thing will apply for prachAraka smruti also. Whatever is said there is definitely applicable for everyone in this day and age. But there may be certain situations where we are not able to follow Shastram fully. It happens to every one of us. In fact, all of us are lacking in something when it comes to implementing the injunctions of Shastram. If one person is good in 8 out of 10 aspects, another person may be good in 7 out of 10 aspects, another person may be good in 9 out of 10 aspects, but there are certain things which are difficult to practice given the time and place and circumstances and so on. So when there are such aspects which we are unable to follow due to circumstance and time and place, we have to ask for forgiveness from Bhagavan sincerely and pray that our situation improves so that we can follow Shastram properly. If you take, just for example, we have to use well water. We cannot use water from the tank, over tank, because there is impurity in storing water. Whenever water is stored, it is good only for that day. The next day it becomes impure. So we have to use from natural sources. If water is present in well, it has connection with earth and it is considered pure. If there is running water like a river, that is even more ideal. But nowadays many people are forced to use water from over tank. In such cases, what do? We have to try and find alternate ways so that we can use fresh water somehow. An example would be, if there is direct motor connection, provision can be made that water can be taken from a tap before the water goes to the over tank. So using direct, you turn on the motor and when it is running, water comes from ground, earth, and you take it right there, then and there. So it is not going to over tank and get stored there. Directly we are getting the water. This is little bit better than using over tank water. So we have to find alternatives where we can maintain the purity of our activities, purity of the things which we use. But let's say if even in a person who is very Vedika, very staunch in following Shastram, let's say in a very rare case, if the water in the well completely dries out, then what can that person do? He can go and search water from maybe neighbors if their well is having water, or if there is a nearby river, they can try to go and fetch water from there. But if all of those options are not there, they're all not existing, then one has to in these emergency cases, we have to depend on alternate sources, which is not as pure as the original option, original ordained method. So in any case, any of these Smriti, Dharmashastram, there will be times when even the most obedient person towards Shastram, even such persons will have difficulty in following. In such emergency cases, it is okay if we can find some alternate options. But for in general, we have to try to follow Shastram as much as possible. We cannot be having laziness. For example, if we have to do things as per Shastram, then we have to work a little bit harder, because it's not going to be the easiest path. You turn on the tap, you get water. You turn on the stove, you get fire. You cook in half an hour, everything is done. Everything is easy. But if we have to go to the natural method, which is ordained in Shastram, then it involves certain amount of physical effort, hardship. But we must go through that physical hardship, because without physical hardship, we will not develop Vairagyam. As for Vairagyam, we must be strong in dire situations and face the situations and overcome those, and be not attached with, not having emotional attachment with results and so on. So for that to happen, one must go through some hardship in life, and these are natural activities which train us to be patient, to be humble, to be accepting that there are certain things which we have to struggle in life. So these aspects we should be doing without any laziness. For example, if we have to touch anything from outside, when we go into the kitchen, we have to wash our hands and then only touch anything inside. But if we feel lazy and not do that, then we will not be following Shastram properly. But washing the hands every time will be a little bit challenging. But we have to overcome those challenges and try to practice. So coming back to Smriti, we may not be able to follow everything enlisted in these Smritis, so specifically even in this case Parashara Smriti. But we must have the desire, the urge to follow Shastram as much as possible, without feeling lazy, without being careless, without thinking that, oh, I'm a Prapanna, I'm a Sharanagata, I can do whatever I want, Bhagavan will accept. There are certain passages which may look favorable for us. If a bhakta does anything, Bhagavan accepts. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. So these passages, these Shastram verses may be taken as advantage and try to minimize our efforts in serving Bhagavan and doing our duties and so on. But that is very wrong attitude, because those are for those passages imply the greatness of Bhagavan and his simplicity and his generosity and so on. It is not to eliminate the achara, the conduct and the discipline of a prapanna. Because if Shastram does that, if Shastram eliminates, or Bhagavan, if Bhagavan eliminates the discipline of a prapanna, then that becomes pointless, meaningless. Then nobody will follow Shastram. If a prapanna doesn't follow Shastram, who will follow Shastram? Can we expect an atheist or someone from another religion to follow our Shastram? Shastram is for us who are believers, who accept Shastram. So we have to follow what is given in Shastram. There may be exceptions. There may be alternate options given for emergency situations. Only in those emergency situations we can pursue those. Not on every situation. Even there is this story from Shastram where a sage is traveling through, a saint is traveling through a desert, and because of great thirst, he is totally exhausted. And when someone who is not follower of our dharma, not having any conduct, good conduct, discipline, when that person offers water, the sage accepts that water and drinks that water. But subsequently, when he becomes a little bit stable, his fatigue goes away and he becomes normal. The next moment, the same person gives something, water or some fruits. At that time, the sage says, no, I cannot accept from you because you are not having good conduct, good discipline and all of that. That person asked, just a little while ago you accepted. For that, the saint says that is for an emergency situation where I had to take something and survive. So at that time, Shastram allows me to do this. But once I am stable and normal, I cannot accept from others. So Shastram should be seen in that perspective. In emergency situations, one may not be able to follow Shastram and one may be forgiven for that. But in normal situations, we must adhere to Shastram. We must try our best to follow principles which are highlighted in Shastram. That includes smruti, because whatever is explained in Vedam and Vedantam, those are elaborated in Smriti, Itihasas and Puranas. Without understanding, without the help of Smriti, Itihasas and Puranas, we cannot understand the principles which are explained in Vedam. These are the practical demonstrations, practical explanations for Vedam. So we must follow what is mentioned in Smritis as much as possible to our capacity. And we must try to progress as well. It is not that we have reached a particular stage and we stay there comfortably. Every day we must try to make little bit progress, improve our anushtanam, improve our acharam, and both internal and external. Because some people may be good in external acharam, like they will wash their hands, they will take bath as many times required, and they will do their anushtanams properly. But then their atma gunams, their noble qualities will not be visible. And on the other hand, some may be having noble qualities, but their acharam may not be, physical contact, discipline may not be good. Both must be there. That is the ideal way for a SrIvaishNava, for a prapanna. So this is how we have to look at Smritis, Itihasas and Puranas in general. So the question was related to Parashara Smriti, how it is applicable for kaliyuga. Of course, whatever is given by our sages, saints, they are fully applicable. We have to see what is that we can practice and do based on those injunctions. And for that we have to take guidance from elders and those who are already following these, and make sure that we are able to follow a little bit every day and improve slowly. So that is the question about Parashara Smriti.
ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
To learn such valuable information about our SrIvaishNava Sampradaya, please download Koyil, Koyil app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, Koyil.org.